we found out what the important things in life are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, family, friends. Just, it's too bad it takes something like that to really, you know, find that out.
If you think a hurricane is bad on land, try being caught at sea. No one would deliberately steer into something like that. No one except the U.S. Coast Guard, that is. When they get the call, they head out, even if it's into a hurricane. It was a boat race from Norfolk, Virginia to the Virgin Isles, and everything looked good for Roger and Judy Olson, his brother Roy, and Roy's wife Karen. But that didn't last long. Hundreds of miles to the south, a very bad storm was heading their way. Tropical Storm Mitch was about to change their lives forever.
Thursday morning, they reforecast the track of the storm to 125 miles south of where it was on Wednesday. And so that put us right, our path was going to hit right in the middle, and we couldn't do anything about it.
When Roy said that we weren't going to be able to make it out of the storm, we had to, you know, prepare for it. It was really unsettling.
The winds gusted to 60 knots, and the seas were very rough.
You know, I don't know how you can describe it, because it was noise from the water hitting and just the wind blowing.
And we just sort of huddled together and talked to our kids and thought that we really didn't know if we were going to make it.
Then a large wave turned their world upside down.
And none of us really have any real clear recollections of what happened when we rolled, except that Roy says that he thought that we had possibly been hit by a freighter. We think he got jammed into the ceiling, and that's what broke his back.
The Kompreska was floundering. They set off their distress signal. Within 5 hours, a Coast Guard C-130 found them, but it could not pick them up, nor could a nearby freighter.
The freighter was, you know, so much bigger than we were, and it would, you know, be going like this, and then the freighter at one point came down and hit our boat, and we thought it was going to take us down. When the freighter started moving, backing off from us, you could see the big propeller, a huge propeller coming up out of the water. You know,
and we were really close to it.
Very close to it. I think I was probably just as scared there as any place else.
And so a Coast Guard helicopter headed into the storm from Elizabeth City, North Carolina, to rescue the family. At 900 miles, the trip was both long and dangerous.
When they said Bermuda, it makes your heart race a little faster. Bermuda is about the furthest we could go with the helicopter without needing to refuel, and that's landing on fumes.
They just made it to the island and refueled. They found the Kompreska at daybreak, 230 miles southwest of Bermuda.
It was great. It was so nice to know that there was someone out there that knew where we were.
Rescue swimmer Sean Lansing was lowered into the ocean.
The boat itself was a mess as far as the mast being broken. The waves had it rocking back and forth violently. I had to hold on to what I could on that boat, or I would have been tossed off. So it was challenging.
One by one, the crew was lifted to safety.
They were the real heroes. They lasted on that boat for 48 hours. My rescue lasted them all of 20, 25 minutes. And so what they went through was amazing.
I think it was a life-changing experience for all four of us. I mean, I know, speaking for myself, I know it makes me a lot more aware of family and what's really important.
The Kompreska's crew owe their lives to the Coast Guard's willingness to fly into almost any kind of weather. When the Elizabeth City Coast Guard station was in the path of Hurricane Floyd, they still flew out to help a badly injured seaman aboard a freighter.
The further we got offshore, the worse the weather conditions got. The winds steadily increased. The size of the waves kept increasing to the point where I have never seen the ocean look quite that angry.
The ship's containers had torn loose and crushed the crewmen.
I've never seen a ship that big act like what this ship was doing. The bow literally was under a wave, and normally the bow of a 600-foot freighter is, you know, a good 50 feet out of the water.
The conditions made it impossible to drop a rescue swimmer.
I was really concerned was when our rescue swimmer was swinging around trying not to hit the ship. I was really getting concerned that we were going to hurt him.
Their only other option was to lower a basket and let the ship's crew load up their injured friend.
And the whole time we were hovering there in hurricane turbulent winds, 50-foot waves bouncing the ship around. And essentially I'm tied to this ship right now because I don't want that cable to come off the deck because then I'd have to do the whole thing over again.
Even when the injured man was finally aboard, he was far from safe. No flight is routine in a hurricane, and home was a long way away.
This helicopter is capable of doing it, and that's what I trained to do, and that's what I'm paid to do. And this is the best job in the world, to get to go help people that need helping. So, yeah, I'd do it again tomorrow, no problem.
Imagine being stuck right in the heart of a hurricane and having a camera with you to document the drama. Incredible home video of a hurricane's wrath coming up next.
I like this one. I like this.
Coordinates as of 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, about 60 miles south-southwest of Galveston, Texas, nearly stationary. We do have some tropical storm warnings up, and they run from Sargent, Texas, along the coast to Morgan City, Louisiana. And now with more in-depth analysis of our first tropical storm of the season, here's our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons.
Well, thanks, Paul. And we're having major flooding in the greater Houston area, and some areas that haven't been flooded yet are probably going to receive flooding overnight. Let's look at the latest satellite imagery. The circulation center is very close to the extreme West Galveston, almost making landfall, but it's just clustered that's producing tremendous amounts of rain, upwards of 11 inches in some areas. Some cars underwater, people stranded on the roads. It's very treacherous out there. If you're not out, don't go out. Here you can see the total rainfall accumulations, primarily along I-45 in the south part of Houston, but it's encroaching in the downtown Houston area. We expect areas from downtown Houston, League City, Pasadena, Santa Fe, Clear Lake, Friendswood, and southeast Houston to see significant flooding over the next 12 to 24 hours. And you can see over all these areas, very heavy rain occurring, and it's spreading to the north all the way up to Aldine. But the biggest and most impactful area here is along I-45 and off to the eastern portions of downtown Houston. If you're out and around, be very, very careful with the high water. And with that, let's get back to Paul.
Thanks, Dr. Steve Lyons, our tornado hurricane expert. Getting confused here. We do have tornado warnings to pass along in Kansas, Sumner County, and in Texas, Roberts County. We'll have more at the top of the hour.
I wanted to stay. Megan was ready to go, but I kind of wanted to stay and check out the storm. I had never been in a full-fledged hurricane before.
I need a heavier camera. So far, we've showed you people who go through hurricanes for a living. But what's it like for an ordinary person to go through one? What follows are first-hand accounts from people who were caught in a hurricane and who happen to have a video camera.
Slowly but surely throughout the day, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And in the middle of the whole thing, I remember all of us were just like, when is this going to stop?
It's really kicking. There's trees going down all over the place. It's really windy. A boat just sank across the boat basin here.
Basically, you know, I was in the water, so I was up to my neck in the water, and I didn't feel any of the winds at that point. I was just holding the camera and basically, you know, filming what was going on around me.
Right now it's 105 sustained winds. Hurricane George is kicking our butt.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, when you're out there in the middle of this, and you know, I couldn't even go in the house. I was just like in awe looking at the wind.